G'day guys, welcome back to the AFL. We're already through round 6. What an amazing round we had. Probably one of my favourite rounds, the Anzac round. So we'll do a quick recap. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, I do Flash Crows tips as well, so make sure you go over and give him some love and like and subscribe. He's very close to his 1,000. So anyway, let's have a quick look about what happened over the week. So it's a long round, this one. So we started at Fremantle. Bulldogs did the job against the Freo Dockers. Dockers are not travelling very well at the moment. Bulldogs look good. Their midfield were flying. Treloar had probably one of the best games I've ever seen him play, and I don't rate the guy, but if he keeps playing like that all year, that will help them a lot. Bontempelli, an amazing game, as he's really building a body of work this year, probably in the top 3 players in the league at the moment. Devastating player. Then we went to Adelaide, where Port had quite an easy win against the West Coast Eagles. You really have to be beating West Coast by 60 points, 10 goals, or the better teams will be up there like that. West Coast are actually not playing too bad. They're starting to find a couple of young little players, which is good for them. Then we went to Manuka Oval, or Manuka, is that Manuka or Manuka? Lions dispatched the Giants. Good effort by the Giants. They were with the Lions for most of the game. Bit of brilliance from Charlie Cameron to kick 7. But yeah, good win for the Lions down there. Cats absolutely smashed the Swans. A depleted Swans. I picked the Swans. I thought they'd play better than that, even without a whole back line and without their forward line. But Cats kicked back really well. Looked good, looked fast. Still aren't sold on the Cats. I want to see them play one of the top teams. I want to see them play at Collingwood, the Lions, Melbourne, and I want to see them play at the MCG. Don't lose hope if you're a Sydney Swans supporter. You've got a really good little team there. You start getting a couple of players back. I think this week they've got McCartan back and someone else, another back person's coming back. So don't give up if you're a Sydney. Sydney are still a good little team. Lots of upsides there. Hawthorn against the Crows. Hawthorn, another close game for them. They would be ruining that. Adelaide were finished off. I think the goal by Fogarty in the last 2 minutes or something was really clutch. Adelaide wouldn't be so impressed with that effort, but this is what you need when you're building towards a premiership team. You've got to start learning how to win these really close games, and Adelaide did that. So another little arrow in the quiver for them. That's something that a young team needs to learn, and they did that. So full credit to Adelaide there. Carlton were probably the most disappointing team for me this week. St Kilda beat them, but Carlton just I was so frustrated watching this game. I'm not a Carlton supporter. If I was a Carlton supporter, I would have been tearing my absolute hair out. You've got 2 Coleman medalists up in the forward line and they won't kick it to them, or they won't get it in quick, or they won't even give them an opportunity. Some of the decision making by Carlton was absolutely horrendous. I always criticise the Lions for not going down the middle, and I predicted it. I said to my wife, I said after the first 5 minutes, I said, "You watch Carlton go down the wing until the last 3 minutes of the game." That's exactly what they did. 3 minutes to go, they put a talk down the middle. And the only time you see teams that kick goals, they go through the middle. They don't do all this bullshit that go around the wing and all that sort of stuff. We've seen enough of the good teams. When they're on, they just go straight down the middle. The first look is to the middle, and if it's there, they take it on. If you watch Carlton, the first thing they do is look backwards. Same as Freo. And Freo last year, they were the ones going down the middle. And so Vossi needs to do something at Carlton and do something quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be another poor season for Carlton. Suns had a good win against North Melbourne. Unfortunately, we lost one of our stars of the game, probably for the rest of the year, with Tuke Miller. Didn't look good. I know it's not an ACL, but he's done a meniscus or whatever that is. And so, but we don't like to see the good players go down, and he's definitely a star of our competition. Suns are going to really struggle without him. But anyway, good win for Stewie Jew there. Then we went to Melbourne and Richmond. Richmond actually played quite well and were definitely in this game, but Melbourne have got too many power players for Richmond, I think. But you can see that they've still got it. They're just not doing it over the full 4 quarters, Richmond. I think I said in my last video last week that they've kicked 80% of their goals in 4 quarters or something for the year. And same thing again. They were a lot more consistent and they're definitely hungrier. But class, you just can't beat class. And Melbourne have got oozing with class. They've got a good little kid coming in with that Van Rooyen. So he looks the goods. They've been talking him up for a couple of years, saying, you wait till you see this kid. Well, we're starting to see him. He looks great. And then a really cracking game at the MCG yesterday between the Pies, the Hot Pies, or the Party Pies, and Essendon. Essendon would be feeling pretty bad this morning. They had Collingwood on toast, and then Collingwood kicked 7 goals in the last quarter to fly over the top of them. So still not sold on the Pies. They look good when they're playing a like-for-like team. I don't rate Essendon, so I don't rate Collingwood as well. Collingwood have been at their one loss. They've had one loss against a like-for-like team, which is the Lions, and they didn't look that good. But definitely, they've got some absolutely great players at the moment. They're definitely a good team. They're a great team. Nick Dacos, like I said last week, I said this guy's in his second year and we're already calling him a superstar. Well, he's already just added to me another star again. 40 possessions, 2 goals, and not just that. They're clutch possessions. He's doing something with it, and there's still a lot of upside to him as well. And his brother's no slouch too. His brother's great as well. So if we can see any improvement in these guys, they've got some fantastic future. I can see, but they got the genetics too. Their old man was no slouch, but if he can start adding like penetration and so 50% of his possessions are just give it to me possessions, but if he can start really, using the ball, what a weapon you're going to have there. And I can see him going into the middle. All right, so he's still running off half back, but I can see him being a midfielder and also a small forward. So if you've got that kind of qualities as a player, Fly must be just licking his lips at the moment and go, how far can we take this guy? All right, let's go to round 7. So we're flying through the weeks. We've waited for so long for the football to start, and it seems to go past too quickly. But we'll start off on the Friday, which is only in 2 more days. So we've just finished the round and we've got 2 more days and we're starting again. We've got St Kilda, who are on top of the ladder at 6 and 5. And we've got Port Adelaide. Now, I've got Port Adelaide. I picked them to be in the top 8 before the season. I think they're like St Kilda. They've got a lot of good little players. St Kilda are definitely punching above their weight at the moment. They did get Membry back. They're hard running. That's what St Kilda are doing, and it's a lesson for all teams. If you run hard and you tackle hard, I don't care who you're playing. You can be playing the Dallas Cowboys. If you run hard and you tackle hard, you're always in a game. St Kilda are definitely doing that. And how much upside does St Kilda have? They've got half their list is injured. So if they start getting some players back and they start getting continuity, St Kilda are the real deal. St Kilda are going to make the 8. I don't think they can miss the 8 from here. I know we said that last year when they were 5-1 in exactly the same situation, but they look like a different team this year. Port, I think, is also got a lot of upside. So this is going to be my first upset. I'm going to go Port, and I think that Rosie and Butters and they're starting to really. Drew's the other one. I think they're really starting to hit their straps. Powell Pepper, I rate that guy. I love his energy. So I'm going to go to Port to win by 16 points in a tight one at Marvel. Then we've got the Lions against Fremantle. So you guys know I'm a Lions supporter. Fremantle are absolutely a joke at the moment. It's at the Gabba. I think we've only lost 2 games in the last 40 at the Gabba. So Brisbane Lions to beat Fremantle handily. Now this is going to be an interesting game. The SCG, so the local teams. Sydney against GWS. GWS played quite well against the Lions. This game is always a tight one. Sydney have got a couple. I think they've got a McCartan back. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Himmelberg is playing well. Toby hasn't done a great deal this year. He might turn it on. Papley is playing really well. Alright, I'm going to go Sydney here, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than what this one says, 94% to 6%. I think these teams are pretty... If Giants played like they did against us, they've got a real shot against Sydney, but I'm going to go Sydney. Then on the Saturday, we've got the Bulldogs against Hawthorn. Hawthorn are playing well. They've been unlucky for the last couple of weeks, but that's what happens with young teams. They've got to learn how to win those close ones. And there's a couple of plays that I bet you that Mitchell would be going through with them and saying, you just can't do this. You got to play the whole game out. But Bulldogs are starting to look the goods again. Their midfield is the superstar midfield. And if they start working out their forward line, you can't knock Nordy's effort. If Lobb can start lobbing in, Bulldogs have got a pretty good team. So I'm going to go the Bulldogs there. Melbourne, North Melbourne, we don't even have to talk about that one. Okay, Melbourne could put out their under 4s and beat North Melbourne at the moment. West Coast, Carlton. All right, now Optus. Okay, so this is a danger game for Carlton. So Carlton are just not doing what they should be doing. I don't know why. West Coast. All right. Carlton should beat West Coast because West Coast. All right, let's just go Carlton there. MCG, Essendon, Geelong. All right, now this is where we're going to see whether Geelong are who we think they are. Like I always say, every time you write off the Cats, you look like an idiot. For the last 20 years, I've been writing off the Cats, and they make me look like an idiot every year. So, Essendon Did play well against Collingwood. Should have won the game against Collingwood. Playing a lot better football. I don't rate them. I do rate the Cats. I think they're a fantastic team, the Cats. So I'm going to go Cats there. Richmond against the Suns. Okay, so another massive warning game for Richmond. So I know that the Suns have lost Touk, but they're starting to get a couple of really handy little players. Anderson's a gun. Lukosius is a gun. Matt Rao was having the best game I've ever seen, or the best year I've seen him for since the talk up that he was the best player in the league 2 years ago, which I didn't believe, but he's actually put on a bit of weight. Looks like he's put on about 7 kilos. He's getting in, he's getting the ball, he's starting to learn that he doesn't have to always be that player. So this is a danger game for Richmond. Alright, I'm going to go to the Suns. There's always an upset. There's always 2 upsets per week. And I think this one might be it. And then we go to Adelaide Oval, where we've got Adelaide Crows and Collingwood. Should be a pretty good game. We've got 2 teams that are in form. Collingwood are the juggernaut at the moment. Just don't seem to be able to lose. Crows look good. 2 good midfields. So I'm just thinking, because Collingwood don't have a rock and Adelaide have been doing very well in the middle, I'm going to go the Crows. It's at home. If this game was at the MCG, I would flip my tip. But I just think at home, Adelaide might be too good because they've got the extra rock. Tex is playing well. You got Rankin up there. Laird is playing well. Rory Sloane's playing well. Rochelle. They had no. Oh no, that was Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide. One of their stars did an ACL in the seconds. But yeah, Adelaide Crows looking great at the moment. So I'm going to go Adelaide Crows at home to beat Collingwood and put the Pies back in their place. So there we go. Like always, I'll have Flash Crows tips underneath. Hope your team wins this week. As usual, let's go to the AFL. We've had a great weekend on the Anzac round. Lots and lots of people watching the game. It's the best game in the world by a long shot. Like I said, hope your team wins. Good luck with everything, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you then.